Excellent!
Hey guys, welcome to CES 2017 coverage, continuing here from Caesar's Palace, which is a lovely place to gamble, but we're not doing that. We're talking about some stuff from Gigabyte, because they have some new graphics cards. They have, of course, a ton of new motherboards in the Z270 line. They have a new gaming system that's kind of an all-in-one unit, and also we're going to talk a little bit about LED lighting. But first, I would like to say a huge thank you to Gigabyte for sponsoring my CES 2017 coverage. Also, a big thanks to Toshiba and Deepcool, my three sponsors. They're great people. All right, let's start off with this little product that we have right here, which I'm going to attempt to one-hand, which is a skill that you learn after doing this for a while. You might look at this and say, oh, that looks a lot like the GTX 1080 Extreme Gaming, and you'd be correct to some degree. It does feature a lot of the same design from it. So it does have the lighting going across in the X pattern on the front there. It also has lighting on that logo on the side, but it's not a Gigabyte logo, it's an Aorus logo. So continuing the sort of transition for Gigabyte of their highest end gaming equipment to the Aorus brand, they have now launched this first ever GPU, or will be launching soon, beginning of February. First ever GPU that's Aorus branded. And again, carrying over a little bit of the design and stuff from the Extreme series. Does have a little bit of light orange accents going across there. And then the back plate here, I think, is what's most upgraded or changed. You will note that they have a copper plate sits there behind the GPU to help provide a little bit of extra heat dissipation. Gigabyte was very keen for me to know that they're the first ones to have done that. So balls in your court, other graphics card manufacturers. Also, that Aorus logo, the eagle right there, also lights up with RGB goodness. So there you go, a new graphics card from Gigabyte. They're not talking about clock speeds for that one yet, because it's still early, but keep your eye out for it if you like high-end GTX 1080s. But over here, look at these new products that are still from the Extreme Gaming line series, but are products that you may not have seen from Gigabyte before. You guys want a Gigabyte CPU cooler? They have one right here. It's the XTC 700. It features 16.8 million customizable RGB lighting modes. Well, 16.8 million different colors, theoretically, on the Gigabyte Extreme Gaming logo there on the front, so you'll see that through the side panel of your case, depending on how you have this set up. Dual 120mm fans on either side. These are proprietary designs, so I do feel like it might be difficult to swap them out, but I feel like depending on what fan you're using, it does have a standard 120mm fan mount on there, so you might be able to get something else in. But these fans have the same wing blade design as the Gigabyte Extreme Gaming series of GPUs have. So the special design with the it's ribbed for your pleasure and everything like that to help cool everything better. And the thing I noticed that stood out to me the most with this, because obviously it's a tower-style CPU cooler with copper heat pipes and a aluminum fin stack in the middle, but look at the size of those heat pipes. They're freaking 10 millimeters each, really thick. And girth is important, so make sure you pay attention to that. Also on the bottom, of course, the flat direct heat pipe contact, which has been proven by many CPU coolers to be a very effective means of cooling, going all the way back to the Cooler Master Hyper 212. So there you go, a Gigabyte CPU cooler. They also have an XH300 gaming headset here, and of course you probably have already seen their SLI bridges, but these are all available for sale right now. I'm told you can get them on Newegg, so go there and buy them. A quick pit stop here, just to show you these also unique products. Look, an Aorus SLI bridge, because if you're going to get an Aorus graphics card, you got to have the matching SLI bridge. Actually pretty nice, all black, pretty low profile too, and it has buttons on it. I don't know what those buttons do. Maybe they changed the color on the logo. Confirmed. Press these buttons at the bottom and it has full RGB lighting, and you can change the mode with those buttons. That's actually pretty cool. All right, we have an OC Touch breakout panel here that you might just use for a motherboard. It's going to be compatible with some of their Z270 series motherboards, of course, and you just plug that in and connect it. It gives you a bunch of extra fan headers, a bunch of voltage read points that you can use directly with a voltmeter, as well as plus-minus buttons so you can manually set your overclock for your CPU up or down. Usually these are set to different modes in the BIOS, whether you want increments of like 0.1 or 0.01 or that kind of thing. Also power reset buttons and fun things. What are these switches for? Southbridge, iGPU, and TGR. You can turn off your Southbridge, your iGPU, and your TGR. I don't know what a TGR is, but I'm sure somebody in the comments will point out what that is. Also, it doesn't want to set down nicely. And then we also have this tiny little NIC. When was the last time you bought a network interface card for your to add on to your system? Well, if you need 10 gigabit Ethernet, that might be the best reason for you. If you do lots of transferring of large file sizes, or you need really fast connectivity between your computers at home, 10 gigabit Ethernet has been much more popular and prevalent in the enterprise space. But they're finally actually coming out with little tiny cards for 10 gigabit Ethernet. It's got a black PCB and a black cooler on there, so it's actually going to blend in if you're building a gaming system or something like that. Cool little accessory. I hope they're not too terribly overpriced. There are a ton of awesome systems that have been set up here to demonstrate the new motherboards, Z270 boards, as well as some older series, 100 series mini ITX boards that they have in some systems. But some really cool things that they've integrated into these boards are, well, lots of RGB LEDs. And of course, not everyone's into that. I don't blame you if you're not. But if you are, you want as much customization as possible. And the unique thing that they've done with all the Gigabyte motherboards is they've made the RGB headers RGBW compatible. That gives you a fourth connection point. They're actually a 5-pin header on there. So it is backwards compatible with the standard RGB headers or RGB LED strips, but it also gives the ability with that fifth item, or that fifth connection. Hi, Steve. So you can add a white element or you can add UV. So Cable Mod, for example, as well as a lot of other LED strip manufacturers, already have LED strips that you can plug in that gives you that fourth flavor, I guess. So you can add UV or you can add white, which is awesome because when you try to do white with RGB, it always ends up having like a blue tone to it, and it's just not the greatest. So here's an example that they have set up with the Z270X Gaming 7, and they got Cable Mod strips that are going through here, and it's also got this the sort of accent panel there at the back. That's one of the other things that they showed us here at the press event, was that they actually have different versions of that available, so you can change them if you don't like the design. And I actually got a special limited edition one that says CES 2017 on it that is only mine and no one else can have because it's a limited special edition. It's mine. I couldn't leave here with talking about this little device because Kyle and I already kind of teased it a little bit on the live show, but this is called the Gigabyte Desktop PC, for lack of apparently any other better name. This is the Gaming GT series though, and basically what you have is a mostly vertically oriented barebones unit. So you actually buy this without everything that you need, but it has 2 SO-DIMM slots in there that you'll need to populate with memory, and I believe also you need to add storage. But other than that, it's actually a very powerful gaming PC in a fairly small and svelte package. It's got integrated cooling, so all that's taken care of for you. It's got a 6700K processor in there, the full desktop model, not a mobile version, and it's got a full-size GTX 1070, which is also pretty cool. Now, the unique thing is, since it's a bare bones, of course, you're going to be able to open this up and get in there and swap stuff out, but they're trying to make it a little bit more future ready for possibly maybe new graphics cards that maybe might come out in the future. We don't know anything about those, but it's got an integrated power supply, but it also comes with this little brick here, or this little brick is available. And you can actually remove a little panel down here at the bottom and add that brick in there. And that actually provides a little bit more power to the motherboard, so it allows it to rearrange the power configuration to provide more power for potentially a more power-hungry graphics card than a GTX 1070. And I'll leave that up to you guys' speculation what that graphics card might be. Now for I/O, you have a couple ports up front. You also have more ports available on the bottom, so you got to go underneath there to get at those. But it does have USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C connectors down there. It also has an active cooling system with these 2 sort of leaf-shaped items on the top. So those will actually lift up automatically based on the temperature of the system inside. So things get warm, they lift up, let some hot air out. And we are just now getting an update on availability for this. It's coming next month. It will be available both in North America and South America. So if you're looking for a pretty cool looking small system that's still full powered desktop gaming PC, VR ready too, if I didn't already mention, check it out. This is the Gigabyte Desktop PC, which is the most generic name I've ever heard, but it's still a cool product. So everyone keep your eye out for it. Anyway, that's all for my coverage from here at the Gigabyte suite or area or whatever we're in Caesar's Palace from Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again to my sponsors, Gigabyte, of course, as well as Toshiba and Deepcool. And we'll see you guys very soon. More coverage of CES 2017 like right now or probably later today.